As Denver Mayor Mike Johnston prepared to take office, he put out what was essentially a giant suggestion box, collecting input from city employees and residents on what he should do. Suggestions range from buying the Park Hill golf course to overhauling the backed up permitting department to another suggestion that our Marshall Zellinger found could really change downtown.
Based on the feedback from Denver Mayor Mike Johnston's transition committees, he has quite the lengthy to-do list in the first 100 days, which is by October 25th. Some of that to-do list is conflicting. For instance, the memo from Denver's economic development team had a recommendation to enhance downtown vibrancy by having city workers work from the office, and also to encourage state workers to work from downtown offices too. While the memo based on city employee feedback said remote hybrid work was their #1 issue and was seen as an equity and economic issue.
We know the economic value of having people back in the office in our center city.
Courtney Garrett is one of the transition team's co-chairs and head of the Downtown Denver Partnership.
We also know we need to recognize the psychological trends and incorporate that kind of flexibility so that we can solve for equity and fairness issues.
There is no answer yet on where city employees are expected to work from, but the job postings for the mayor's department heads listed those as in-person jobs. The transition team also made recommendations for safer streets, focusing on decentering cars and focusing more on transit, bikes, and pedestrians. For example, making Wine Coop in front of Union Station pedestrian only. Other tips include adding more speed cameras and banning turns on red. A recommendation for the city attorney's office is to consider enforcing the city's agreement to keep Park Hill Golf Course a golf course, or figure out how much it would cost to buy the property. And there was a suggestion to consider the position of night mayor. Not nightmare, night mayor. Someone focused on the needs of Denver workers who do not have traditional work hours.
It's more than just thinking about safety of bars and restaurants. It's thinking about providing services, childcare services for hospitality workers. Where do these people park in safe areas? What things that apply to the traditional 8 to 5 business world are also true and we need to key in on in the late night and evening hours.
Night mayor reminds me of that 30 Rock episode about rural juror. Another tidbit from the transition memos. DIA wants to work with RTD about more frequent buses and trains and expanding when they operate, mainly for DIA workers to have a reliable way to get to work. Now, Kyle, RTD is not under the purview of the city, so it will be interesting to see how this recommendation plays with an agency that has issues with the current frequency and operation of what they currently have. And here DIA is like, we need a little bit more.
Let me throw out an idea to you, okay? So 12 years under one mayor, there are going to be people who want a lot of different changes. Because Johnston has made such an enormous promise on homelessness, promising something no city's been able to accomplish, it kind of feels like if he tries to bite off some of these other big projects and doesn't hit the mark on homelessness, people are going to say he tried to do too much at once.
True. And I will say the thing I started with about work in-person jobs. If you get the ratio of people coming downtown, more people going to businesses, there was a part of the memo that talked about you get that ratio of regular people downtown higher than the people who are living on the streets, it starts a cycle and snowball that gets you closer perhaps to getting some of those people on the streets into homes, and you get more people downtown and you don't see what you see now.
That idea of vibrancy downtown is absolutely connected to a lot of his housing and homelessness policy. All right, Marshall, thank you very much.